Hey guys, I just wanted to go over frequency tables before we start today's lesson on displaying data. A frequency table lists each group of data and the number of occurrences for each category of data. The groups can be found as a category, an interval, or values that are recorded in the first column of your frequency table. If classes are numerical, they need to be listed in ascending order. That means from lowest to highest value. After making the first column, you record the tallies for each class in the second column. You can then add up all the tallies and put the final frequency in the third column. A frequency table is useful to show how often certain value or set of values occurs within a data set. If the data is ordinal, that means containing numbers, then the table frequencies can demonstrate central tendency, so median or mean, can also find us the mode, the symmetry of it, or the spread of the data. So here are some different examples that I mentioned in my little explanation. So this frequency table shows something that's considered to be categorical. So here there's a method of travel, walking, biking, cars, or buses. We've kind of done a questionnaire and we've asked a total of 30 people information. Maybe it was how they get to work or things they like to do when they meet up with friends. This is the frequency with which they gave an answer. And we would take this particular frequency table and we would graph it using maybe a pictograph or a bar graph. On our second frequency table, we have information that's maybe collected on a math test that had a test value up to maybe 50 points. Here you can see that we have intervals. So intervals, you'll see they don't overlap. This one goes from 0 to 10. The next one goes from 11 to 20. Next one from 21 to 30, and so on. So if we were to count, each of those intervals contains a total of 10 numbers. Again, we take information that's been collected from whoever we're interviewing. We come up with a tally of how many people had math marks within each of those intervals. So we don't know specific grades, we just know that their grade was between 31 and 40, or we know their grade was between 41 and 50. We then see the frequency with which it occurs, and we write that in standard form. This is the kind of graph that we would use if we were creating something called a histogram. The last frequency table is one where we would collect information based on some sort of value. In this case, the category here says a score of 1 to 6. Maybe not necessarily a score, maybe it's the numbers found on a die, how many times you roll it, you take a tally, then you find the frequency of which that occurred. Again, this type of data on this chart we would use on a dot plot or a box plot, also known as box and whisker. Hope you learned something. See you next time.